Hey everyone, and welcome. We're taking a deep dive into the world of value education videos today.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
It really is. I mean, I think we all kind of have a sense of how powerful videos can be for learning new things.
Absolutely.
And I bet a lot of us remember those kind of cheesy, be kind videos from when we were kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But what's really interesting is how these videos have evolved so much.
Totally. So let's dig into that. How are these videos different now from what we might remember from childhood?
Well, I think the biggest difference is how they've tapped into the power of storytelling.
Okay, so not just, straight up lectures or moralizing.
Right. It's about weaving those important messages into engaging narratives that resonate with viewers.
And that makes sense, right? Our brains are wired for stories.
Absolutely. We're naturally drawn to characters and plots.
So how are these videos using storytelling to teach values like honesty or respect?
Think about a video like the kindness boomerang, for example.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
It shows how one small act of kindness can ripple outwards, impacting a whole community.
Right.
But what's interesting is that the main character isn't some perfect goody two-shoes. They make mistakes. They struggle.
And that makes them more relatable.
Exactly. It avoids being preachy and instead invites viewers to connect with the character on a deeper level.
So it's not just about telling people to be kind. It's about showing them what kindness looks like in action.
Yeah, and how even small actions can have a big impact.
Now, I'm also curious about how these videos teach something as complex as emotional intelligence.
That's a great question, and there are some really creative approaches out there.
Like what?
Well, remember the movie Inside Out?
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
It's not a value education video in the traditional sense, but it brilliantly personifies emotions.
Right. Joy, sadness, anger.
Yeah, and shows how they interact within a young girl's mind.
It's a really clever way to make those abstract ideas tangible and relatable.
Exactly, and that's what makes those concepts stick.
It's like you're actually seeing emotional intelligence in action.
Right, and that's way more powerful than just reading about it in a textbook.
Okay, so we've got storytelling. We've got emotional intelligence. What other cool things are these videos doing?
Well, one trend I'm really excited about is the use of interactive elements.
Interactive. Tell me more.
So think about like a choose-your-own-adventure style video.
Oh, cool.
Where viewers get to make decisions for the characters.
And then see how those choices play out.
Exactly. So it's like learning by doing, but in a safe virtual environment.
That's brilliant. It takes engagement to a whole new level.
Right. And when viewers are actively involved, they're more likely to internalize the message and apply it to their own lives.
This is all super fascinating, but let's get practical for a second. You mentioned social responsibility earlier.
Yeah.
How do these videos connect individual actions to the bigger picture?
One powerful way is by showing the real-world impact of those actions,
Okay, so not just talking about it in theory, but actually showing the consequences.
Right. Remember that campaign, one plastic bottle at a time?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
They used animation to show how a single bottle carelessly discarded could end up polluting the ocean,
Harming marine life, the whole deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that video was really well done. It didn't feel preachy at all.
No, it wasn't. It presented the information in this clear, engaging way.
And it made you think twice about your own actions, right?
Exactly. It helped people connect the dots between their individual choices and their collective responsibility for the environment.
So it's not just about being a good person in a vacuum. It's about understanding how our actions can ripple outwards and affect the world around us.
Right. And that's a powerful message to convey, especially to younger generations.
Absolutely. So it seems like these videos are going way beyond those simple be kind messages from our childhood.
Oh, definitely. They're tackling some really complex and important issues in really creative ways.
And they're finding their audience in all sorts of unexpected places.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about storytelling, emotional intelligence, social responsibility. It's clear these videos can be incredibly impactful. But I'm wondering, how do they reach people who might not even be looking for this kind of ethical guidance?
That's where the brilliance of entertainment comes in.
Okay, so how do you sneak in values education without making it feel like a lesson?
Take a show like Jane the Virgin, for example.
Okay, yeah, I love that show.
It tackles some really tough topics like unplanned pregnancy and immigration, but it does it within this compelling storyline.
So you're hooked on the story and then bam, you're suddenly grappling with these ethical dilemmas.
Exactly. And it makes you think critically about these complex issues without even realizing you're being taught something.
It's like sneaking in the veggies, right?
Exactly. It's about meeting viewers where they are using popular culture as a vehicle for values education.
So it's not just about creating educational content, it's about making it entertaining and engaging.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, if people aren't enjoying it, they're not going to watch.
This has been super eye-opening.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what these videos can do.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
So far, we've talked about how they can teach emotional intelligence, promote social responsibility, and even sneak in ethical lessons through entertainment.
Right. And we're just getting started.
I'm really curious about how these videos are actually being used in the real world.
Yeah, me too.
Are we talking classrooms, workplaces, something else entirely?
You know, it's actually all of the above.
Really?
Yeah. What's fascinating is how value education videos are popping up in these unexpected places.
Okay, so let's dive into some specific examples then. How are these videos being used in the real world to make a tangible impact?
Okay, let's start with something you might not expect, professional development.
Professional development. I thought we were talking about kids stuff.
Well, value education videos aren't just for kids anymore. They're increasingly being used in workplaces.
To teach what exactly?
Oh, everything from ethical decision-making to building a more inclusive work environment.
Huh. I can actually see how a video could be much more engaging than a typical corporate training session.
Exactly. And it can bring those sometimes dry topics to life.
Make them more relatable.
Yeah, and relevant to employees' everyday experiences.
It's not just about ticking boxes for compliance training, right?
Right. It's about actually shaping a company's culture by promoting shared values.
So creating a workplace where people not only know the rules, but also understand the why behind them.
Precisely.
Okay, that's workplaces. What about communities?
Well, think about issues like bullying, right? Or conflict resolution.
Or promoting tolerance and understanding in diverse neighborhoods.
Exactly. Value education videos can be powerful tools for addressing these challenges.
And because they're videos, they can reach a wide range of people.
Yeah. People of all ages and backgrounds.
Instead of just lecturing people about tolerance, you can actually show them what it looks like in action.
Through relatable stories.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And remember, video is incredibly accessible.
So we're talking about a medium that can break down barriers.
Spark conversations.
Inspire positive change.
At both the individual and community level.
This is really exciting stuff.
It is.
But I'm also wondering about the role of creativity and innovation in all of this.
Absolutely.
Are there any particularly unique approaches to these videos that you're seeing?
Oh, definitely. Creators are constantly pushing the boundaries.
Give me an example.
We're seeing everything from interactive games to virtual reality experiences.
Wow, virtual reality for ethical training. That's amazing.
It is. It allows viewers to step into someone else's shoes.
Experience the consequences of their actions.
In a way that's truly impactful.
Wow. It sounds like the future of value education is incredibly exciting.
It really is.
And full of potential.
Absolutely. But as with any powerful tool, there are also important considerations to keep in mind.
Oh, of course. So what are some of the challenges or potential downsides?
Well, we need to be mindful of the messages being conveyed.
Making sure they're accurate and fair.
Exactly. And we need to be aware of the potential for bias.
Right. Because even videos with good intentions can unintentionally present a narrow worldview.
Absolutely. And that's why critical thinking is so important.
So we can't just passively absorb whatever we're watching.
We need to question the assumptions being made and seek out diverse perspectives.
This is all really important stuff. I'm glad we're talking about this.
You do.
Before we dive deeper into those ethical considerations, though, why don't we take a quick break?
Sounds good.
We'll be right back to explore the potential challenges of using value education videos.
Looking forward to it.
So before the break, we were talking about how these value education videos are being used in all sorts of places like workplaces.
Yeah, workplaces, communities, even virtual reality.
It's really amazing to see how creative people are getting.
It is, and that creativity is really important, especially when you're trying to reach younger audiences.
Right. They're used to all that fast-paced interactive media.
Exactly.
And speaking of younger audiences, I think a lot of people might still think that these videos are mainly for kids.
Yeah, I can see that.
But we've been talking about how they can be used for professional development community, building all sorts of things.
Right, and there are even more surprising applications out there.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, one area that's really interesting is healthcare.
Healthcare. Okay, so how are they being used in that context?
Well, for one thing, they can be used to help patients understand complex medical procedures.
Okay, so instead of just handing someone a dense pamphlet full of medical jargon...
Right, exactly. They can use a video to explain things visually and emotionally.
Make it way more accessible.
Yeah, and it can also help patients, make informed decisions about their treatment.
So it's not just about understanding what's happening, but also feeling empowered to make choices about their own health.
Exactly. And it can even help patients cope with chronic illnesses.
Okay, now that's really interesting. So how does that work?
Well, these videos can provide information about the illness, of course, but they can also help patients, build resilience.
Manage their expectations.
Yeah, navigate all the emotions that come with the health challenge.
So it's almost like a form of emotional support.
It can be, and it's not just beneficial for the patients either.
Oh, really? So who else benefits?
Well, healthcare professionals are also using these videos,
Okay, in what way?
Well, to improve communication with their patients, for one thing.
Makes sense.
To build trust, and even to train other healthcare providers on ethical and compassionate care.
Wow, so there's like this ripple effect happening.
Yeah. The videos are impacting not just the individual patients, but the entire healthcare system.
It's amazing to think about how far-reaching the impact of these videos can be.
It really is. And we're seeing similar trends in other fields, too,
Oh, like what?
like criminal justice, social work, conflict resolution.
So using these videos to train professionals in those fields.
Exactly, to educate the public and to promote, more ethical and compassionate approaches to some really tough challenges.
It seems like there's no limit to how these videos can be used.
It's pretty exciting.
It really is.
Yeah.
But, with all this talk about the positive impacts,
Yeah.
I also want to make sure we touch on something you mentioned earlier, the potential for bias in these videos.
Oh, yeah, that's a really important point.
How can viewers be sure that they're getting a balanced perspective?
That's a great question. And, it's something that both creators and viewers need to be aware of.
Because a video is just a video.
Right.
It's not inherently objective.
Right. Just like any form of media value, education videos can be influenced by the creator's own, beliefs and values and experiences.
So even videos with good intentions could unintentionally perpetuate certain biases
Exactly.
or present a very narrow worldview.
Yeah. And that's why it's so crucial to engage with these videos critically.
To question the assumptions being made.
Right. And to seek out, diverse perspectives on the issues that are being presented.
So it's about being an active viewer, not just passively absorbing whatever is being shown.
Absolutely. You need to use those critical thinking skills we talked about earlier to really evaluate the message.
Consider its implications.
And also to be aware of your own biases.
Right, because we all come to these videos with our own set of experiences and beliefs.
Exactly. And it's important to acknowledge that, those can shape how we see the world.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that learning is an ongoing process.
Yeah, it never really stops.
And that even well-intentioned content can be a catalyst for self-reflection and growth.
I love that. It's so true.
And that's what I think is so powerful about this whole idea of value education.
What do you mean?
It's not about arriving at a fixed set of answers.
Right. It's not about being right or wrong.
It's about engaging in a process of, learning and questioning and evolving.
Exactly. It's about opening your mind to new possibilities.
Of being willing to challenge your own assumptions.
Absolutely. That's how we grow.
This has been such an insightful conversation.
I agree. It's been great.
We've covered so much ground.
We have, from the science behind storytelling to the ethical considerations of this whole medium.
I'm honestly feeling so inspired by all the possibilities.
Me too. And I think we've just scratched the surface of what's possible with these value education videos.
I'm so excited to see how this field continues to evolve.
Me too.
And to witness the positive impact that these videos will have on the world.
I agree. It's going to be amazing.
But before we get too carried away with the future, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what makes a truly great value education video.
Oh, that's a great question. I love that question.
What are the key ingredients that make these videos truly effective and impactful?
Well, I think it boils down to a few key elements,
Okay, let's hear them.
First and foremost, a great value education video needs to tell a compelling story.
Okay, so it needs to grab the viewer's attention right from the start.
Exactly. It needs to keep them engaged from beginning to end.
So it can't just be like a lecture or a dry presentation of facts.
Right. It needs to have that narrative element that draws people in.
And makes them care about the message.
Exactly. And that story needs to be relatable.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the viewers need to be able to see themselves in the characters,
Connect with their struggle.
their triumphs.
Their journey of growth.
Exactly. It's about creating characters that feel authentic and human, even if they're, animated or fictional.
So it's not just about the values being presented, it's about how those values are embodied in the characters.
Right. And those values need to feel genuine and believable.
Not forced or preachy.
Exactly. It's about showing, not telling,
Weaving those values into the fabric of the story.
Right. So they feel organic and natural.
And finally, I think what you're going to say is that a great value education video needs to leave viewers with a sense of hope.
Yes, absolutely. And a sense of empowerment, you know?
It needs to inspire them to take action.
To make a difference in their own lives and in the world around them.
So it's not just about raising awareness or pointing out problems.
Right, it's about offering solutions.
Sparking inspiration.
Giving viewers the tools they need to make positive change.
When all of those elements come together, you have a video that's not just informative, but truly transformative.
Absolutely.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It really has.
We've explored the benefits, the challenges, and all the creative possibilities.
It's been a really thought-provoking conversation.
I feel so energized by all the possibilities.
Me too.
And I hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope so too.
So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to continue exploring this world of value education videos.
It's an amazing world to explore.
You never know what insights or inspiration you might find.
That's so true. You might even be inspired to create your own videos.
Share your unique voice with the world.
That would be awesome.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of the really amazing things about value education video.
Yeah, a lot of really positive stuff.
But we also touched on some of the challenges like the potential for bias and, the importance of critical thinking.
Right, it's important to be aware of those things.
Absolutely. But I'm curious about something you said earlier, the idea of these videos not just being informative, but actually transformative.
Oh, yeah, that's where it gets really exciting, you know?
So what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, it's about moving beyond simply teaching values, right? And getting into the realm of actually inspiring real change.
Like changing how people think and act.
Exactly.
So how do these videos do that? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, think about a video that explores empathy, for example.
Okay, empathy.
Maybe it follows a character who starts out, being really judgmental of others.
Okay, I could see that.
But then through a series of encounters, they start to see the world through other people's eyes.
So they go through a transformation.
Exactly. And that can be really powerful for the viewer.
Because you're kind of going through that journey with them.
Right. By experiencing that shift in perspective, You
start to question your own biases.
Yeah, maybe develop a deeper sense of compassion.
So it's not just about learning what empathy means. It's about actually feeling it.
Exactly. That emotional connection is so important.
Okay, that's a great example.
Yeah.
What about something like, a video that tackles a bigger social issue like poverty?
Ooh, yeah, those can be really powerful too.
But those are tough topics to handle, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a video.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
How do you find that balance between raising awareness and, offering solutions without overwhelming people?
One really powerful approach is to focus on individual stories within that larger issue.
So humanizing it a bit.
Exactly. Maybe it's a video that, profiles someone who's overcome incredible obstacles.
Or a community that's come together to make a change.
Yeah. Because when you ground the issue in human experience, it becomes more relatable.
And inspiring too, right?
Absolutely. And those stories can be really empowering.
Because you see that change is possible.
Right. It shifts you from a sense of helplessness to a sense of agency.
Like you can actually do something.
Exactly. And that's where real transformation begins,
This is all so inspiring. It really feels like these videos have the potential to make a real difference.
I think so too.
But got to be realistic. Can a single video really change the world?
Well, maybe not a single video by itself. But think of it this way. Each video is like a seed.
I love that. A seed being planted.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't, instantly change someone's entire worldview.
It might spark an idea.
A thought, a passion.
Or plant the seed for future growth.
Exactly. And when enough of those seeds are planted,
who knows what can happen?
They can blossom into something amazing.
It's really incredible to think about.
It is.
Well, this has been an absolutely incredible deep dive into the world of value education videos.
I've really enjoyed it.
We've covered so much, the science, the creativity, the ethical considerations.
The transformative power of these videos.
And I'm walking away feeling so energized by all the possibilities.
Me too. It's been a really thought-provoking conversation.
So to all of our listeners out there.
Yeah, to everyone listening.
Keep exploring this world.
Seek out those videos that challenge you, inspire you.
Help you grow.
And hey, maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own videos.
Share your unique voice with the world.
That would be amazing.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference.
Yes. Couldn't agree more.